Let's talk picks. Let's talk contenders. Let's talk sleepers for those who have major pools at offices or at home with their families, or even if they're gambling away their precious income.
Well, pick, I think we just kind of did our picks. I went with Rory McIlroy again, as you pointed out correctly. It's a head versus heart conversation. I would go through what you need to do well here. I mean, the obvious one is strokes gained approach, and he does that really, really well. You look at, he's got 2 victories.
Not quite as well as some of the other players in the world, though, Rex.
Sure. No, I understand, but he's got victories in a signature event and in the tour's flagship event. I believe his head is in the right spot. So for all the reasons I said, and look, this isn't a. I don't have a lot of bass in my voice when I say this, and I understand.
Little high.
People,
I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, I'm not
so.
leaning into this. Yeah, no, I like I said, I don't have a lot of bass in my voice when I do this one, but I'm sticking with Rory McIlroy.
Okay, I'll go with Colin Morikawa. As I picked one. He's become, Rex, like this controversial figure who hates the media. He hates fans. He hates sort of letting us in. I really don't think he wants to embrace that role, but he continues to sort of find himself in the middle of this controversy. But I like him for all of these statistical reasons. You mentioned the approach play, that being by far the biggest determiner for success at Augusta National, leading the PGA Tour this year in strokes gained approach. And I think everything is just sort of coalescing for him. He's had plenty now of big game experience over the past couple of years. He played in the final group last year at Augusta National. His short game and putting is vastly improved from even when he was winning major championships. And so I think if he is at his sharp shooting best, as Colin Morikawa typically is, I think this week sets up incredibly well for him. How about as you get a little bit deeper, Rex? Who are some, I don't know, off the radar type names that you feel pretty good about backing this week?
Well, we had to do what our editor Mercer Baggs called a long shot, and his definition of that was 50-1, because you and I always seem to want to bat this around a little bit, but his line was 50-1. So I came in with Russell Henley, as you're gonna quickly point out, he's a top 10 player in the world,
top 7 in the world. But you're right, based on
top sevens.
Based on those
Based
rules.
on what our editor told us to do, I went with Russell Henley as a long shot, 5-time tour winner. He's just kind of the perfect fit of what you think of a long shot Masters champion. Again, I'll go back to GIR, and he's 3rd this season in GIR. He's 6th in proximity to the hole. If he can putt like he did when he won just a few weeks ago at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, I don't think anyone should be surprised. And to be fair, I don't think he should be a long shot, but our editor set that number.
He did set that number, just completely throwing him under the bus. I do love that. Rex, for me, he was also the player that I picked, and someone got in their feelings in the comment section on our Sunday night pod when I sort of dismissed Patrick Reed, which I probably should not have done. I didn't realize his record in the Masters was quite as good as I thought over the past couple of years, while also backing Russell Henley. And the reason why I backed Russell Henley and perhaps not Patrick Reed is yes, the course fit might be good, but even though Russell Henley is a shorter hitter on average, as Patrick Reed is, the other elements of his game are stronger. A great iron player, a very streaky, if not good, certainly above average putter on the PGA Tour. So he has other complements of his game that, again, I don't actually dislike Patrick Reed this week. He probably would have been in my 11 to 15 range if I was doing like a deeper power ranking. So I did want to put that out there for all of the people. I also think like a Sepp Straka, Rex, could be a good pick this week. If you go even
2 Bulldogs, shocking.
Even a little bit further, like a Michael Kim, who from a strokes game perspective this year has been very good. Maverick McNeely, now among the top 10 players in the world. Again, I'm not sure how much of a wild card the top 10 player in the world can be, but as a first timer, that makes a lot of sense to me, particularly with the way that he can putt the golf ball. There was something, Rex, that you wanted to get into, because I know we're now a day removed from Scotty Scheffler's Champions Dinner. We don't want to get into that fanciful notion of, if you won the Masters, what would you have? But you had this idea, and this is 50% your podcast too. I want you to voice exactly what that's a $5 fine with the concession menu and what you actually want to do. Please, can you please explain?
Thank you, Fred, for putting up the menu. For those of you in the listening audience, not the watching audience, Fred has put up a menu of what the patrons can order. And as we've talked about in the past, this is embarrassingly cheap. If I gave you $20, you probably couldn't spend it walking around all day long. So it's what I wanted to do, and I think you and I have done what would be our champions menu, because we fancy ourselves foodies, right? Clearly we like to spend time around smoke and the barbecue. However, I wanted to do this a little bit differently. So if I was doing a champions menu just based on what you can buy as a patron on property, and this is twofold. So you have to do everything. You have to do, you have to start with an appetizer, the entree, dessert, drinks, the whole 9 yards. I have come up with my menu, and I actually did the math while we were sitting here. My total came to $17. So everyone play along here. So for the appetizer, I'm gonna go something along the lines of maybe some Georgia pecan caramel popcorn, which I thought was very, very good.
Or pecan.
Whatever. I'm not from Georgia, so I don't have to get it right. And then as a combination for my entree, and play along with me here. I don't like pimento cheese. Let's be clear about this. The barbecue was very, very good. You had one yesterday. I'm not sure it agreed with your stomach, but you went with it anyway. What I'm going with is a barbecue sandwich because it is delicious. I'm going to get the egg salad, and I'm also going to get the classic chicken. But pay attention. This is what you do here. You take the classic chicken off that bun, and you put it into the egg salad bun, thereby creating one beautiful, delicious sandwich. For my beverage,
keep in mind though, that's a cold chicken sandwich. If you've never been to the Masters before, this is not a hot chicken sandwich like you would be getting from Chick-fil-A. Cold it's not for everybody.
It is not, but it's still delicious. I'm going to go with you're not a huge fan of the Crow's Nest beer, which is the Augusta's own.
Essentially Blue Moon.
I've heard you say that before. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I'll go with that. I'll give you that on the back end. And then I really wrestled with this one because as far as dessert goes, I think there's only one option here, but I'm going to have to say the word again. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it again. Georgia peach ice cream sandwich. Ooh. Those things are delicious. So that entire menu, which would be my champions dinner menu, came to a grand total of $17. What you got?
Okay, I have not done the cost, so you can follow along. You can jot down the notes while I'm talking here. First of all, if we're doing an appetizer, that also means it's happy hour, and so I'll be starting with a beer, even if it is the Crow's Nest. I'm not a huge fan of Blue Moon, but I would certainly suck one down for this very special occasion. As it relates to food appetizers, you could go. Let's see. Maybe some fruit every single morning. I get apple slices. I have a yogurt parfait.
Apple.
I have, yeah, it's called an appetizer. Like there's not a plethora of options here as it relates to your appetizers. I don't see the yogurt parfait there, which is very disappointing. I've also had the muffin, quite delicious. As it relates to the main entree, you're right. I'm a big barbecue sandwich fan as it relates to the Masters concessions. The only problem, though, Rex, is that they're small. They're more sliders, I would call them, than sandwiches. And so you probably need at least two to get filled up. I have no problem putting those down. I wouldn't think anything of it. I'm very relieved that the hot dogs that I have been consuming each and every day here at Augusta National are not on that menu, because I gotta be honest with you, folks. I am at war. There is an inner turmoil that is underway, and I'm raging against the machine as we try to get normal and natural as this Masters is about to get underway. But yes, the barbecue sandwich to me is by far the highlight. And again, I still like eggs. I like the egg salad sandwich. I like that cold chicken. I like the chicken salad. For me, if I could only choose
the
one.
Masters Club is also very good. I don't want to undersell the Masters Club either.
It is. And that's it's like a ham turkey cheese combination, something along those lines. But again, to me,
heavy on the mayo, a little bit of mustard. Yes, it's very good though.
It is good. And then for dessert, yes, we're going to have more beer. And I would go with the moon pie as well as the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich. All of that, Rex, is very, very delicious.